Bread can be not only delicious, but also highly nutritious. And the key is not necessarily in sourdough and long fermentation, although those things are wonderful. The key really is in returning to fresh flour. Fresh milled grains are the key to the most nutritious and delicious bread that you could possibly imagine. And today I'm going to share with you all about my journey into fresh milled flours and why I will never go back to store-bought flour. Welcome to the Grain to Table mini-series. If you've ever been curious about how you go from whole grain to fresh milled loaf, this is the perfect series for you. I'm going to take you through everything from sourcing and storing grains, how to choose the right flour, the right mill, and even how to bake your own easy loaf of fresh milled flour bread. This is part 2 in the Grain to Table mini-series. If you missed part 1, we were talking all about whole wheats. Go check that out if you've missed it. But for today, we're going to be talking all about fresh milled flour. I made the switch to completely using fresh milled grains in all of my baked goods about 6 years ago now, and I will never go back. There is a little bit of a learning curve when switching to using fresh milled grains, but the flavor, the health benefits, the nutrition, it just cannot be beat. We've become so accustomed to getting flour like this on the shelves at a grocery store. It is just the post-industrial revolution norm. But to make flour shelf stable like this, a few things have to happen. The bran and the germ need to be removed. Those components have a lot of the nutrition, they have the oils from the wheat berries, it has a lot of the flavor, and it also goes bad rather quickly. So as soon as that wheat is ground into flour, it begins to oxidize, it begins to break down and lose its nutrition. If left on the shelf at room temperature for months or even years, that flour would go rancid and it would not be usable. So to solve this, we have white flour that has been stripped of all of those components, and those components are now sold separately. You can buy wheat bran and wheat germ and the oil all as their own little individual components. But you can also return to the art of fresh milled flour. You can have whole wheat berries like this, perfectly preserved in their own little nature-made packages, just holding onto their nutrition and waiting to be milled into the most flavorful and most nutrient-dense flour that you can ever imagine. I'm gonna do a quick little side-by-side for you. I'm gonna mill up a little dish of hard white wheat berries and show you the color difference alone compared to a store-bought white flour. So here we have side-by-side fresh milled hard white wheat and store-bought white flour. This flour has so much smell. You can smell it. It's the aroma of fresh milled flour. It's so good. It has a little bit of texture. It has a tiny bit of grit because it has all of that bran and that germ. Even though it's a really fine grind, it still has just a smidgen of texture. And this, on the other hand, is quite powdery. It's only the soft, starchy bits. There is no texture to this. There is also no smell, no immediate flavor profile. It's just very bland, which is fine, but it is nutritionally void. There's not really much here. There's not a lot of flavor, and there's definitely not a lot of nutrition. Whereas this, you can just see in the color so much flavor, so much nutrition. You can smell it right off the bat. It's really incredible the huge difference that there is between shop-bought all-purpose white flour and even a shop-bought whole grain flour and then a fresh milled flour. So I keep saying it's really nutritious and delicious, but how nutritious is it really? Fresh milled flour has 40 out of the 44 essential nutrients. All it's missing is vitamin C, D, B12, and iodine. So if you have a little bit of meat, animal fats, fruits, veggies, anything like that added into your diet with a whole fresh milled grain, it's going to be a fairly complete diet, which is really cool because bread is so vilified in our modern culture, and for good reasons. Most everything that is on the shelf at a store is pretty nutritionally void, but real traditional fresh milled bread has the potential to be a really fabulous and nutrient dense part of your diet. Fresh milled flour can also be a fairly economical option, which I know sounds a little bit crazy. You do have to invest in a mill, which is quite an investment up front. But being able to buy your grains in bulk is going to save you money long term. One, just buying in bulk saves you money. But even if you're not going through a ton of flour, you maybe have a smaller family, you're not going through a 50-pound bag of flour every month, you can still buy grains in bulk because they have such a long shelf life. So you can reap those savings even if you're not going through things very fast. And then on top of that, whole grains are just more affordable than milled flour of an equal caliber anyway. So for me personally, shopping with Azure, I get my hard white wheat berries that I use for most of my bread baking for $12 less per 50-pound sack compared to the flour that they mill out of the same grain. So what are my favorites and what do I recommend you stocking when you're starting your own fresh milled flour journey? I love a hard white wheat. It is our family's favorite for any kind of just basic bread baking. It is a high protein, so better gluten development grain. So it works really well for any kind of yeasted baked goods that depend on that gluten structure for their rise. Hard red wheat is also another great option in this same category, but it does have a lot more of that brown bread kind of nutty burnt. It just has a lot more flavor and it's not everybody's cup of tea. Hard white wheat still has a ton of flavor. It's just a lot lighter. Now, people also really love einkorn, spelt, rye, a lot of alternative kind of more ancient grains for their bread baking as well. And they are fabulous, but they do require even more of a learning curve and can be a little bit more difficult to work with. So if you don't have a problem eating wheat, then I suggest you start with a basic hard white or hard red wheat because it is going to be the easiest transition into working with fresh milled grains. Now for pastries, muffins, cookies, baked goods that don't require yeast, that don't need to have that gluten structure, the world is really your oyster. My favorite blend right now, which has gotten glowing recommendations from everybody who has enjoyed the cakes and the cookies made with this blend, is a equal part split of soft white wheat, purple barley, and Kamut. So those three in equal parts mixed together to make a dessert or a pastry flour. So good. But also a plain soft white wheat is super lovely and works really well in all of those applications as well. So how do you go about incorporating fresh milled grains into your baking routine? There is a bit of a learning curve. There are some adjustments that need to be made. Sometimes you can swap things straight across, but a lot of the time you're going to need to make slight adjustments to your current recipes to make fresh milled grains really work well. So here are a few tips and tricks on how to make fresh milled flours really work the best in your recipes. We're going to start with breads. A term that you see a lot in sourdough baking is autolyse. And before I got into the fresh milled grains, I skipped that constantly. Didn't think it was worth it. Didn't notice a big difference in my breads. Now that I have made the switch, I can tell you that the autolyse is essential. All of the bran and the germ, it needs more time to hydrate. It's very thirsty and it needs a little bit of space to get hydrated before you get started. If you give your flour the time and the space to hydrate before you ask too much of it, it will repay you gladly. It's going to be so much more easy to work with. It's going to have better end results. Do not skip the autolyse. Give it at least a half an hour with just the water, maybe even with the yeast or your sourdough starter, do a fermento lease, but don't add the salt because that changes how the dough hydrates and reacts with the water. Let it sit for at least a half an hour, then add your salt, the rest of your ingredients, and proceed with your bread. Huge game changer. Just that one little step, massive impact. Another really common thing for bread baking when you're gonna incorporate fresh milled into your existing recipes is needing to use either a little bit less flour or a little bit more water. Because as we mentioned, this flour is really thirsty. So either cutting back a little bit of the flour or adding a little bit more water to get to the right texture can be really helpful. Not necessarily essential. I would try your recipe as is first and then make adjustments in future batches. But that is a really common thing with baking breads and fresh milled flours. Now, on the opposite side of the spectrum, when you're making muffins, cookies, things like that, often you're going to want to use a little bit more flour. The way that it absorbs fats and things like that is a little bit different. There is the bran and the germ, so you're having less of that starchy endosperm in the recipe. So unless you're sifting your fresh milled flour and then measuring it from a sifted flour state, you're probably going to need to use a little bit more fresh milled flour in your cookies, things like that. Also, if you're making pastries that are really picky and you need a cool flour, consider that fresh milled flour is quite warm when it comes straight out of the mill. So a lot of times people who are doing pastries, biscuits, things that need to have chilled butter or things cubed into them, you may want to pop your fresh milled flour into the freezer for a few minutes so that it can chill out and not melt that other chilled ingredient that you're trying to incorporate. There are also a lot of really wonderful blogs, recipe writers who are writing specifically for fresh milled flour these days. I'll post a couple of my favorite resources in this video's description. There are resources for conversion charts, how to switch things over to fresh milled flour, how many cups of grain equals how many cups of flour, roughly, grams to cups conversions. All of that is so readily available online these days. So it makes it really easy to get into this with fresh milled specific recipes and guidelines. So you're convinced you want to get into fresh milled flour, you want to experience the most nutritious and delicious bread that you possibly can. You know what grains you kind of want to look at, but now you need to know what kind of mill you need. Tomorrow we're going to go over all of the details so that you can pick out the mill that is right for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, let me know what you think in the comments, and of course, share it with a friend. And if you missed any of the previous episodes, you can find the whole playlist in this video's description.